Okay, we are back. Oh my gosh, we are so back. We have got a great topic tonight, and I love this topic because uh, I don't even know why I love this topic. I love it maybe because I love the dream world. So our
Mm,
topic is dream symbology and the different types of dreams,
I love that.
and and
I'm always
and
fixing my hair.
oops.
Can't help it.
I can't minimize here. Oh, I can maximize, but I can't minimize. Okay. Um, and okay, so I just want to do, oh, what have I done here? Okay, side by
Her
side.
audience is going to be
Um,
like, "You stop playing with her hair all the time."
I know, and I'm looking at, organizing my window here. Uh, the jazz hands. I have to do the jazz hands anyway. So anyway, tiny bit of housekeeping, nothing major. I'm working on a line of products for the channel for Psychic Touch, and so far I have a hat. It's nothing fantastic, but you know what? I like the font, and I like how just putting it in
Mhm.
a little bit of an arch like that makes it look really nice. I love the colors, the black, the white, and the pink with the purple font. And anyway, that looks really, really, really nice. I like it. Um, what else? We're up to 34 subscribers, so thank you guys. Yay!
Oh,
Thank you for
and
making
we'll
us
have
making us
we'll
grow.
have a party at 100.
Yes.
I will
Um,
give away some things at 100.
okay. I will at 100. I'll throw in a hat. How's that?
I'll throw
A
in a
hat.
reading. How's that?
Oh, okay.
Free
Yes.
reading.
Free reading, and yeah, I'm not sure how we're gonna pick who we who wins, but
I
we'll
mean, we
we'll
can
figure it
always
out.
have, we'll figure it out. We'll have the people who have subscribed there, whatever
Yeah.
their Addy is, will be
Mm-hmm.
put onto a wheel,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and we'll do it that way
What
if they
else?
want it.
What else? What other housekeeping stuff do we have? Nothing really. You've got an event coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You want to
An
tell
event.
people about that now?
Yeah, but I think it's a private event, so it's the
Okay,
retreat.
okay,
It's a retreat
okay.
in Smith Rock. It's in Nova Scotia. We're from, and for people who are away, we're in Nova Scotia, Canada. I live in Gold River, which is an Indian reservation, a native reservation. I shouldn't say Indian. Oh my God, oops. No, I'm Olnu or a Mi'kmaq from Mi'kmaqi, and I'm from Nova Scotia, born and raised.
Mm-hmm. I
And so
was
that's
born.
where
I was
Smith
born
Rock, Nova
in.
Scotia.
I'm born in Nova Scotia.
Mm,
Lived 9 years in northern Manitoba, in Thompson, Manitoba. Moved back to Nova Scotia. Finished growing up as a teenager, moved to Ontario for 38 years, and now I'm back in Nova Scotia. I think
nice.
this is pretty
Welcome
much my.
home.
I love to
Welcome home.
travel. I love to get out and do stuff. And so if somebody wants to plan an
Yeah.
event, I'm gonna put email addresses, everything down below.
I,
Um,
yep, I do group readings.
mhm,
And I also travel to places. I had a client last year that offered their bed and breakfast to us at a discounted rate. I still paid for it, but it was at a discounted rate. And with the premise that her family would come and get readings. And I think we did 22 readings, and I did a group reading of about 15 at that point in time.
mhm,
And I've done events like that. I've done retreats. This retreat that's coming up, it's a private event, and somebody reached out to me and asked if I could do it. And I'm like, awesome, I can. Another thing about me is I do speak a little bit of my language. I'm just reclaiming that. And, I'm doing medicine work. So
mhm.
a lot of stuff that I do.
A lot of
Uh,
stuff.
a lot of stuff, but I love it all. Like if I love talking to our ancestors and I love talking to the other side and visiting them there. And this is a really great topic for me because there's different kinds of dreams, and even some
Hmm.
of my teachings that I've gotten have all got to do with spirit and spirit people and Wasul, which is like the stars and stuff in the heavens. So I'm really excited to talk about it and the difference
Hmm.
between dreaming and like we already did one on lucid dreaming. We already did one.
Yes.
But this is a little different because it's about symbology and it's about
Hmm.
what symbols mean. So when
Hmm.
we get started, we do have Kara had submitted a dream of hers that she
Yep.
wanted us to analyze for her. And I'm not like everyone else. I never am. And that's how I who I am. I'm not like every other medium you're going to meet. I'm not like because like I tell the spirits like it is too. They get the same kind of treatment as I get. I'm not afraid of ghost spirit. I'm not afraid of any of
Hmm.
them.
Yeah.
I've had some I've had some really bad ones come through. You know, there's just things about me that like I respect the other side, like I really do. I don't have spirit in between. I go
Hmm.
directly to the source. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm just different from other people.
Mm.
I'm not cliche. If I don't get it, I don't get it. I will tell you the
Yeah.
information, and sometimes people go, "That's not them at all," and I'm like,
Hmm. Yeah.
"I think it is." And then as I go through, it's like, "Oh fuck, it's this person." Oh, oh, the F-bomb again. I do drop the F-bomb a lot.
That's okay. That's okay. We're
Holy.
grown up here.
So
So you mentioned lucid dreaming,
yes, we can
you
talk
know,
about
and
right.
then we have nightmares. One that I do is false awakening. I do
Mm-hmm.
that probably, gosh, maybe not every night. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
there's times where I'll do it 3 or 4 times in one night,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm just sitting there wide awake, and there's times where I've had my hand out or somebody's putting money in my hand and I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying that, and I'm so I grab it and I'm like, thank you very much. And then I wake up and like, where'd it go? Where'd the money
Yeah.
go? So there's, and people have been able to get up and walk around and then think, oh, I thought I was
Mm-hmm.
like awake, but they wake up and they're still in their bed.
Mm-hmm.
There
There's
was
this.
that dream that I told you about last week about
Mm-hmm.
me falling into this dark, dark abyss.
Mm-hmm.
There's reoccurring dreams, which is the one we'll talk about with Kara.
Mm-hmm.
There's healing dreams. So people can actually heal
Mm-hmm.
themselves.
That's
So
a good one.
yeah,
I've done
and
that
so the
before.
the the symbols, so the dream symbology is just basically, what did I say? It was a conversation that you're having with yourself, but in the dream world. So it's like the communicate. So symbols are seen in place of the words. So we don't hear the words, we see things. Like why is there a bird sitting on my windowsill? Why did that bird peck at the windowsill? Why did that bird hit my windowsill or my
But
window pane?
the other thing about symbology and the bird is it actually a bird? Because you're
Yes.
seeing it as a bird. And
Hmm.
that's the symbology right there. As you're talking, I'm like, yes, and dreams are all energy as well. Dreams
Hmm.
are things that were our connection with the other side, our connection with the other world, our subconscious mind that, connects with us. It's all of those things all in one. There's past
Hmm.
life dreams. There's dreams that like I've had dreams where I'm eating something and I can taste it and I know what it tastes like. And
Hmm.
just like you
Hmm.
wake up, there's nothing in your hand. I've had dreams that has terrified my spirit. And
Hmm.
what I mean is that my body is fine, my mind is fine, nothing happened, but all of a sudden my whole entire being feels
Hmm.
terrified.
Yes.
So I go back and I interpret that dream and so what it is and what's going on. There's also
Hmm.
predictive dreams. So, and premonitions in dreams.
Prophetic.
Some really
Prophetic.
good ones,
Yeah.
prophetic dreams and things. I get a lot of dreams, a lot of times, a lot of predictive dreaming. There's also manifesting dreams. So we
Yes.
can actually control sometimes our dreams. We want it so badly, we're manifested so badly, we dream about it. And then our
Hmm.
brain goes, is this really happening? Is this something that's real? And it's really interesting. Dreaming is such an amazing thing, and it's such an amazing place to be. And I
Hmm.
love when people tell me they cannot remember their dreams because even
Hmm.
a hypnotic state is a dream.
Hmm. Yes. Yes, it is.
Right?
It's more of a
So
lucid dream. Yeah.
Right. And when people talk to me about, oh, well, I can't be hypnotized. And I'm like, you're hypnotized every day. We already had that discussion too about being hypnotized.
Hmm.
So, like,
Yeah.
but that is what like. I love interpreting dreams for people. There's also intuitive dreams. And that's a newer concept for people to deal with, but it's
Hmm.
about knowing something in your dream, knowing
Hmm.
something is going to happen, and then it doesn't or it does in the dream. Then that dream,
Hmm.
you're like, it symbolizes with your gut because that's where your intuition is. Your intuition is in your gut. So
Hmm.
it's like, what's going on? It's not complicated. It's just a little bit something that we don't know, like almost like a deja vu, only
Hmm.
you're like, I know what's going to happen. I must have dreamt it.
Hmm. Yes.
Right? That's an intuitive dream.
Yeah. The healing dreams, I do,
I love
I do
healing
quite a
dreams.
few of those. So the dream that I told you about last week, do you want me to tell you again,
Sure. Yep.
just, okay. So I'm brand new in this apartment, and right now I just have a mattress on the floor. I'm going to build my own bed,
Awesome.
because I need to build something.
You need to build something. Absolutely.
Yes.
Get some pallets.
And so this is a brand new place for me, and it's really dark outside. There's
No creepy
security,
dolls. Sorry.
no creepy dolls, none, no creepy dolls, and no mold. Oh, thank goodness,
Oh
there's no,
my gosh. You can breathe easy.
no mold. And sorry for my friend who is listening. I know you're going to be listening. Your dolls are very creepy.
Sorry.
Yeah, and the mold. There is some mold around the window frame, but
And there's
it's
viewers that have commented or told, like we could see the viewers say, those dolls are freaking cute, creepy. And for those
yes,
who don't understand, watch our previous videos. I think it was our
yes,
second video, and we
yes.
actually saw the the doll like move. They're
Uh,
creepy as heck. Hell.
yes,
Creepy as
yeah.
hell. I can say the F
I,
word, but I can't say hell. Come on now.
you can say fuck. That's okay.
Yeah, I love
Um,
it.
So
Sorry.
anyway, so it was really, really dark here, but there's some motion sensitive security lights around the property because there's quite a few critters that like to wander in, and so it was a really still night, and it's like dark, dark, dark. And I'm falling asleep thinking, and it was my first night here, and I'm falling asleep thinking, oh, I'm just glad that I'm finally in here, and now I can exhale, I can relax. Well, did I ever relax? I felt like I fell off of my bed, off of my mattress, onto the floor, and now I have no clothes on. I'm completely nude, and I'm just falling into this abyss, this total darkness. There was nothing there. And but I wasn't scared, and I'm falling and falling and falling, but not at a high rate. I just know that I'm falling downwards. And I said, "Okay, that's enough. I want to go home now. Take me home." And I felt like I was dropped from the middle almost to the ceiling, dropped onto my bed, and I fell. And but before I did that, I was able to jump outside of my body, and that's how come I knew that I had no clothes on, because I can now see there was light, there was ambient light, but I don't know where the source was. And so I'm falling, but where's this light coming from? I don't know, because everything else around me is completely like black. Isn't even it doesn't even can like describe it. There was nothing, but I jumped out of my body, and I saw my whole body was lit up, and I looked healthy. I didn't look dead or anything. I looked healthy, and that's when I fell on my bed, and I woke up and I thought, well, that was that was weird. And I'm like touching, like I got my clothes on. I'm under my blankets. Where did I fall from? So tell me, what do you, I know you did say something about it before, and I did have some questions about it. What do you think?
Go ask me some questions about that because I'm like going through that saying like so there's different things that I'm getting from this dream. So one of them is that like when you're falling, it's the sense of, oh my God, what is going on with me? I'm falling. I don't know, like I think you're concentrating too much on where you're falling from or how you're falling, as opposed to the actual falling itself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean by this is that you're falling down. This is something like almost like a leap of faith. So you have no idea what's happening, and
Yes.
that's the control is gone, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when you're allowing you have no choice. You have no choice but to fall. And you landing
Mm-hmm.
on your bed that there's a soft place to land. So,
Mm-hmm.
kind of, I know it's sounding kind of cryptic, but what I'm getting from this all is that you have a soft place to land. It's okay to
Mm-hmm.
take the risk. And that
It's okay to fall.
it's okay. It's okay to fall. It's okay
Mm-hmm.
because there's always going to be a soft place to land. You've always had a soft place to land, always. And you
Mm-hmm.
always will. So when you fall back on your bed, you're just like, awesome, I'm on my bed. Like, what the heck is going on? But
And I
what?
use the word home. I use the word
Yeah.
home,
So this is your
which,
home. That's why you
yeah.
had it. That's why you had it in your home that you're in right now. Because home isn't just where we live. Home is where the heart, like literally where your heart is.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Home is where your safety is. And that was a dream to let you know that you made it home. So now you're
Mm-hmm.
safe. So you're there for the long
Yes.
haul. You're not here for the,
Well,
you're here for a good
it
time.
it kind of felt like I was like falling into a different timeline. So
And that's
probably
probably what
close to
was happening.
accurate.
I would
Yeah.
say that so, and then on the other level, because there's so many different levels to that, the one about falling into a different timeline, I think you're falling out of a different timeline. So
Falling
maybe
out of.
the
Okay.
time, right? So you were going back to this timeline. So that's the reason why you're so attached as to what was going on before and why you fell, because you really want to know what was happening that made me fall, that let me go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have the reality point of it that we just talked about. We also have that other part of it where your soul is going, okay, now I got to fall and I have no idea why I have to fall. And so you're changing the timelines. You're like, I was just in this timeline, this dimension, going, okay, there was something that you weren't meant to know or weren't meant to do. So now
Mm-hmm.
your spirit is curious about that. But it
Mm-hmm.
also wants you to know that you're comfortable here. And this is where you're meant to be, is this timeline. Not saying you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to get to travel there, but I feel like in the next little while, like even the next 5 years or so, you're not going to
Mm-hmm.
be traveling there as much because you're meant to be here. So that whole dream was solidifying that you're home as well. You're on your
Okay.
home planet,
That,
you're in your
that
home time frame.
yes. That sounds that really truly does because I've since we talked about it last week, I'm still questioning it. Like, I don't know, did I come across right? Did I say it right? Yeah, did I ask the right questions? So yeah, that
That's
totally
kind of
sounds
as I was
yeah.
thinking about it as you're saying it, and like there's different levels and different layers to dreaming. And so we have that like reality level. The reality is that,
Hmm.
man, your spirit's happy that you're home,
Hmm. And
right?
you know what? When I I promise I'm not going to take
It's
up all
okay.
the time on me,
That's fine.
but
If we do, that's
back
okay.
back in 1999, I won a trip to Mexico. And so on
Congratulations.
when I was in Mexico, I bought a straw hat. And it doesn't fit me. It looks ridiculous on me, but I have had that. I've carried that hat around with me everywhere. I don't wear it. It's just in my car. It's just there.
And it's
And
time to wear the hat.
I've always said, if I can hang up this hat, this is my home. And so one of the first things I did when I moved in here, when I got in here, was I took the hat and I went over to the coat rack, but it wouldn't stay. It just kind of it
Mm.
just kept sliding down because the rack like the rack was just too big for it, so it just didn't hang proper. And so my cousin took it and she's like, "Oh no, it's gonna hang." So she put it up onto the rack. It's there. It's not hanging, but it hasn't fallen down yet. And it's
It's
been
not
two
meant to,
weeks.
it's not meant
It's
to be hung,
yeah.
right? It's meant to be, you're right. That hat is meant to go where your home is. And so
Yes.
that's like, because that was one of the best trips you'd ever taken in your life. And to know that that was like gifted to you from
Hmm.
Creator. Creator was like,
Yes.
we're going to give her the luck. The universe is like,
Yeah.
let's give it to her, send her there. So it's like the happiest moment. And that is coming home with you. And
Hmm.
so it doesn't want to be hung. It will eventually fall down, which will get you thinking, is this really home? But
Hmm.
it's got, it is really home. And that hat is just meant to be with you. You need to wear it. And it make it
I
like
wore it once. What one of my YouTube videos when I was doing some gardening, I did have it on, but I'm telling it made me look like
there's
it
there's certain
didn't look
things that
good.
I wear as well, and they look ridiculous. Like I in the wintertime I have a tendency to wear a hat, a toque, I guess they're called,
Yeah.
hats all the
Took.
time. A
Hmm.
toque. And but they're like usually the black one that I wear slouches to the side and it's way too big for me. And it looks
Hmm.
absolutely ridiculous. But I
Hmm.
wear it because it's my comfort hat. And I tell
Hmm.
people
Yes.
when my hat is on, I am in a different world. I'm in a different zone. I've zoned out. I'm done with the world. So
Hmm.
like I will put it on in the middle of a job interview and I'm like, okay, I'm done here. Sorry,
Hmm.
but I am. So
Yeah.
so I think the hat just needs to be worn just to have some love from you again. You don't need to take pictures, don't need to take selfies. But
Just
it
wear
needs to, it
that.
doesn't want to be hung. It wants to be on a shelf. It doesn't want to be hung.
Hmm.
It's the
So,
grass ends on
hmm.
it, like the ends on it want to be displayed outwards, not downwards. Because when you're hanging it, they go down. So things are
Hmm.
like going in the negative direction. That's why you're not
Hmm.
meant
Hmm. Okay.
to. Okay. So it's meant to be like go sideways. Like,
Yeah. Okay. So we got to get back on track here.
sorry, of course we
It's
do.
okay.
You know how easy it is to get
Okay.
off track.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We don't stay on track. Okay. So this dream was submitted by Kara, and I was hoping that we'd get more dream submissions, but I don't know.
That's
Maybe
okay.
people just it's
Well,
okay.
you know what?
We can do it
We're gonna
anytime. We
keep redoing this.
because
Like
yeah,
people are
we
just
have
getting used to us and getting used to our humor and getting
yeah.
used to who we are. So we can redo shows over and over again,
We
and
can do
we'll
this
hit people.
absolutely. And it's just a conversation. It's not like an interview. So, okay. So I have a reoccurring dream that I find a ring that I lost a little while ago. I wonder what this means. It reminds me that I should put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Let me see. It reminds me the ring is lost, and then always think of the new place to check for the ring. So she's always looking. It reminds her to check for different places. Um, uh, but so far I still have not found it. If you could chat about dream, okay. So what she's doing is um she's she's lost the ring, but she keeps dreaming about places to look. And
Mhm.
she wants to know what is that meaning? Is it lucid dreaming that she's doing?
So she's got a whole bunch of things happening there. She is lucid dreaming in the fact that she is seeing herself lose this ring. So,
Hmm.
and her whole spirit wants her to find this ring.
Hmm.
Now, I've talked to her about this before because I think we've known each other and she's lost it since we've known each other. And I'm an expert at finding things for people.
Hmm.
I always see that's pretty much I can't say it's the only thing I'm an expert at, but I will claim that I'm an expert at finding things. Um, with her, it's about the attachment to the ring. So that's the other
Hmm.
portion of it. So she's having a lucid dream about the ring. So she's seeing herself outside of her body, losing it, and a different place to look. But if she looks at this and she goes, I'm remembering a different place to look for the ring, but she never finds it.
Hmm.
So is that beneficial to her to look in that spot? Absolutely. But if you're never finding the ring, then start to go beyond that. So the other thing is that she's seeing that ring. What does that ring symbolize? Who is that ring from?
Hmm.
Who is it from? Is it her grandmother's ring? Is it is it a ring that her husband gave her? So that's the other symbol. And I can't remember where it is from. And I don't want to comment on it because I don't want to be um, incorrect in that. in that assumption because I don't have anything. I'm not getting anything from it. I just want to say that that's the feeling kind of the dream. So she's like, okay, this I really need to find.
Hmm.
It was so and so's ring. So it's an attachment, it's a memory to that. So that's another piece of the dream. That's like your empathy dream, as we were talking about. Then,
Hmm.
so it's also a dream of comfort for her too, because she's knows she's lost it, but
Hmm.
her spirit is like, you really didn't lose it. You haven't really lost
Hmm.
it. That's the symbol in it. You haven't really lost it. So when she's stressed out, she has this dream. She has a new place to find it. So now she has to break the cycle. So there's all
Hmm.
these things going on. When you go to look for it, she doesn't find it, but it breaks that thing, that self-defeating prophecy, because right now she's going through, I lost this ring. I'm terrible for losing it. I don't know why I lost it. And she's concentrating on why she's lost the ring and trying to find it to get the feeling back, to get the ring back. So
Hmm.
going forward, she would really having a prophetic dream about it because she's like, I bet you it's in here. I can see it
Yeah.
there. And then
Hmm.
she goes for it and she can't remember, or she doesn't know. We don't know. She didn't say whether it was in any of those spots or not. Um,
Hmm.
but I think she just needs to step back and go, whenever she has that dream and she thinks about that new spot, don't check the spot. Don't check it. And
Hmm.
then go see how many often she has the dream. Because
Hmm.
if it's a new spot, eventually she'll get there and she
Hmm.
will find it. She's just not going to find it in the places that she's dreaming about,
Hmm.
because that is kind of like tricks that are being played on her by her subconscious mind, because she's not
Hmm.
completely open to finding it. She's not meant to find it yet. We will always find things when we're meant to find them.
Hmm.
We'll find things where we're meant to find them.
Yes.
So we could have a dream that we lost something and we never really lost it in the first place, right? And that
Hmm.
happens a lot too. We find things that we think, oh my God, well, I didn't lose it. It's right here, kind of thing. And that's what that ring is kind of. And I know it feels like I'm talking in circles, but there's all this stuff going through my head about this ring. It's so she has to break it down and go, what does this ring mean to me? Before she can do anything else, who's the ring from? Like, what does it mean to her? And what's a symbol of that for her? This is a really
Hmm.
perfect dream to talk about feelings about dreams, right?
Hmm.
Because when we dream, we have feelings associated with those. And sometimes I'll say to people when how did you feel about that dream? Because you could have been being chased by somebody. I've had dreams in the past where I've been chased, and it's a terrifying chase, but I feel comfortable with it. And
Hmm.
that's not what it is at all, right? So it's about what feelings come up from that dream.
Hmm.
The feeling of guilt? Is it a feeling of loss? Is it a feel? What is it? And then we work with that feeling and say, okay,
Yeah.
so let's an example say maybe the ring belonged to her grandmother and the grandmother gave it to her and she lost it. So we'll go, okay, so you lost the ring. So did you like the ring in the first place? Why were you wearing the ring? What
Hmm.
happened? Like, so then at that point in time, I may do a soul retrieval. That's another thing that we can do is go back and do a soul
Hmm.
retrieval and go back to that moment in time or 5 minutes before that moment in time where it was lost. And
Yeah, especially if it's a recurring dream. You
right, if
want to
it's a
find out
recurring
why is
dream,
it recurring?
there's always, with every recurring dream, there's always a stop to it. But if you
Hmm.
notice, most of the time we don't notice that it goes a step further every time.
Hmm.
Sometimes we just let it stop at that point, be like, oh my God, like it stopped. But that's not necessarily the case. We got to see if we can control it. Now, that's another kind of the dream that we can control. We can
Hmm.
control our dreams to a certain extent. So we know we're dreaming this. She knows, okay, I'm having this dream that I got to check the shoebox underneath my bed.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So instead of waking up, if you do wake up, go right back to sleep and concentrate on that shoebox that I found that ring in. Did I
Hmm.
find it there? Is
And
it?
you know what else I find helps is before you, as you're closing your eyes, take me back to that dream, take me back, and
Mhm.
you got to say it 3 times, take me back,
Yep.
take me back.
You
You
back.
got to say it 3 times. Um,
You
I
know how
know I
many
had
times I
a,
say it? I say it
what?
seven because
Oh,
whenever you
okay.
need to remember something, you remember them in seven. That's why our phone, like the way phone numbers are seven,
Hmm.
besides the area code, there's seven numbers. So if you notice how you remember a phone number, you remember each number. So every time you're saying it out loud, your brain is registering another number for a
Yeah.
phone
See,
number.
I always go in threes, like da 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 da. Yeah.
I use,
So when I
I
buy
do,
soup, for instance, I buy 3 cans of soup or three
yeah,
things of rice.
I'm an
I always
odd
buy things
person.
in threes.
I'm always an
Uh,
odd person too. So for me, it's like I'll buy one or I'll buy three or I'll buy
yeah.
five. There's very rare
So
I buy two or four.
yeah, I don't like it. And I'm also a photographer, so I don't like even numbers.
I
As
don't.
a photographer, the worst if you're doing portraits, for instance, the worst number that you could deal with a family portrait is four. Having
Hmm.
four people because they just you have to do that triangle thing and it's really
There's
awkward.
always a
Anyway,
blank space
there's
at some,
always that blank space, yeah.
right? So if you
Or
have, like, you can tower people, like if you have two and one, or you
yeah,
have, three
yes.
and two, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So here's one symbol that I and it always bothers me. It bothers me when I'm having the dream. I wake
Mhm.
up crying every single time I have the dream, but then once I'm done crying, I think, wow, that's absolutely amazing. So if you have a close friend, somebody that you adore in your dream, that
Mhm.
person dies.
Mm.
So, how you feel about that person's death in your dream is indicative of how you feel about them in the waking world. So, I had a friend, oh gosh, years and years and years ago, and she died in a car accident. I actually went there and I lifted the car off of her, and I thought, and I was devastated. I was absolutely devastated. And you know what? I couldn't stop hugging her the next day that I saw her. I'm like, oh my God, I just adore you.
Hmm.
And
And
so,
that's like
and
that's a prophetic dream as well, like, because it's about you, an empathic dream. It's a prophetic dream. It's a dream that you're learning. It's a healing dream for yourself. It's like
mhm,
it's a horrible thing to think about death, but it
mhm,
also brings you back to, like, this is how I care about this person. How I feel
mhm,
about her is so important, and I'm going to show her that too. Now,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, did she pass away in a car accident, or is she still alive?
Nope, she's still alive. Yeah. But that was just proof to me.
Mhm.
Um, this is how I feel about that person. Like if something did happen, and now I know how I would react. This is why. Anyway, so dream symbology. It's nothing like what it's nothing. So, for instance, if you save a drowning baby, you save a
Hmm.
drowning baby.
Hmm.
Um, it's it's you allowing yourself to be vulnerable for
Hmm.
accepting help.
Hmm.
And how would that? I mean, people don't understand how. So you're pulling a baby out of a swimming pool who's drowning. How does
Hmm.
that have to do with you?
So, how that has to do with you? This is interesting because that drowning baby is likely yourself. And that could
Hmm.
be your inner child that has a wound
Hmm.
that kind of needs to be healed, or maybe it doesn't. Not everybody has inner child trauma, and that's a big thing when I go, not everybody has that, right? Maybe they still have past life trauma. Figure that one out. But if there is a baby that's drowning, and you save that baby, that's your ability to save yourself. That's your
Hmm.
ability to save your soul, to be that. You're saving a baby. Yes, you're a hero, but look at that as a reflection of yourself. So a
Hmm.
lot of our dreams are about our own spirit, about our own self. So that's how I would interpret it. The water to me would symbolize if it's a pool, then it's like I would go, I'm drowning. This baby is drowning in a pool. There's nobody else around. So I am naturally going to give my life to rescue this baby. So
Hmm.
you jump into the water, and that's the symbol, in that I'm willing to take that plunge to save something
Hmm.
the symbol of the baby. You take the baby
Hmm.
out, you give him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, you love on it, you hug on it, and notice how happy you feel and how much you've
Hmm.
saved this baby that from drowning. And it's like, oh my gosh, like that's the nurturing that you need from yourself. So that's the way I
Hmm.
would look at that is go, okay, so how did that make you feel? Like it's
Hmm.
all dreams are so indicative to the way we feel. They either make us
Hmm.
feel angry, they make us feel. So that's what you need to pay attention to is,
Yeah.
all right, I felt really great about myself. I felt like a hero and I was
Yes.
being soft on myself. So that's a really good thing.
I
Now,
think, yeah.
well, other dreams that I want to talk about, and every time I go to talk, I lose my mind. Like I'm like, it's there, but it's gone.
Yep. Yep. What about the
Oh,
most
when you fall?
popular, well, there's the
Yeah.
fall, there's the falling dream, and then there's the naked walking around in
Ooh.
public.
Ooh, that's interesting. There's
Yeah.
also the dream that you die in your dream, you die in real life. That's not true. Um, the one about walking around naked, that's really interesting. That is about your sense of humility. That's bringing you back to who you are as a person. So I mean, I think everybody has had dreams about being naked, and it's all about how do you feel about being naked? Are you afraid? Are people laughing at you? Are you calm? Where are
Yes.
you? Are you cold? So
Yeah.
that's really, you take that and go, this is how I feel about my body.
Yeah.
And if you notice, most of the time when you're naked, your body is very dysphoria. Like there's this
Yes. Yeah.
it's either really, really great, and I'm like, holy crap, look at this. Or it's like,
Yes.
oh my God. But it's not an accurate portrayal because that's
Yeah.
our brain going, this is how you really feel about your physical body. So if you have a
Yeah.
dream of being naked, step back and go, why do I feel that way? What happened in that dream?
Or
So
where was I when it
where
happened?
was I when I happened? Exactly. So
Yeah.
just start analyzing it that way. Um, the dreams that when people say that you don't want to, you want to wake up before you die.
Yes.
That's not necessarily the case. You're not going to die because let's face it, you're not going to, if you did die in your dream, you wouldn't be awake to tell me about that you died in your dream.
Hmm.
That was
Yeah.
true.
So when you combine, you're nude in public with the place, so to me that would show are you secure in this place? So
Right.
I would always dream about being walking down the school hall
Mm-hmm.
and nobody noticed that I didn't have any, nobody noticed.
No.
So I'm like, I have no clothes on. Why can't you, like they would just see me, but they wouldn't see that I had no clothes. So to me, I'm the one that is insecure, but
Mm-hmm.
it's all up here. It's not coming
Exactly.
from external forces. And
Exactly.
so people weren't making me feel insecure. It was coming from me. And so
Right.
once I learned that, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and
Mhm.
be secure. I don't care where I am. I'm
Right.
not going to walk. I'm not going to go to school and strip down. I'm not going to give it a try, but
No, and that's exactly
um,
it. And that's how you felt because
mhm,
nobody was making fun of you. People weren't even noticing you. So sometimes when when you're walking naked and no one even notices you, you're like, why didn't anyone notice me? That's you craving
mhm,
for attention, right? It's
mhm,
like, notice me whether it's negative or positive kind of thing.
mhm,
So that's the other portion of it. If there's parts of your body that you're like, oh my God, like my nose is too big, those things
mhm,
are what you focus on in your life, right? And that's,
mhm,
you know, I used to do a blog called The Beauty from Within, and
mhm,
everybody has something that is beautiful about them. When people say to you, and this is off track a little bit, you can't love, if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. That is
mhm.
shit because
It's
it
bullshit.
tells
Yes.
you that you're not worthy enough to be loved by somebody else. So I made a blog that would say, like, I don't love my nose today. And I would get
Hmm.
on there and I would pick out three things I did, or two things I didn't like about myself today. But every two things I said, I had to come back with two things that I really liked about myself. So
Mhm.
I had to be very careful about it. So I was like, today I don't like my nose and I didn't like my chin. Today I like my chin, like I get hair on that chin.
Mhm.
But as soon as those come out of my mouth, the next things had to be, okay, but I love my eyes. I love the way I did my makeup today, and I love my hair. I had to say those things. You become accountable. So that's kind of like having that naked dream as well. But we're going to pick out the things that we don't like about ourselves or that we want to emphasize about ourselves. And those things are going to
Mhm.
they're going to change constantly. Did I
Mhm.
like my nose the next day? Likely, right? It's about picking out what things are about being beautiful and having
Mhm.
beauty. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what naked dreams are all about. And if you're naked in front of a crowd of people, that's a big one that I get to. Well, I was naked in front of a crowd of people. How did you feel? How
Mhm.
did you feel?
Yeah.
Did you feel like comfortable about it? Were you afraid of it? Were you making a speech in front of a bunch of people? And like, how did you feel? And that's the one thing I always ask about people is how did you feel about that dream? Because if that dream was worthy enough for you to tell me about it or tell somebody about it or you to remember, there's always a feeling attached to it. So how did you feel
Mhm.
about that dream? I was terrified. I hear people, I was terrified. What were you terrified of? That people would see me. Well, what happened when they saw you?
Mhm.
So, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, usually, and then after you do that, then you take a look at what's going on in your life because then that could be
Mhm.
hidden messages. Dreams, mostly have messages hidden behind them. So
Mhm.
that's kind of complex, but at the same time, it's not.
Mhm.
So what is the message behind these dreams? The message behind a death dream is when you die in a dream, like you might die this horrible, horrible death. And I've had it. That's why I'm talking about it. Like I've
Mhm.
had horrible deaths in my dreams, and I'm just like, or I
I've
wake
never
up.
had that. Yeah.
Oh, it's probably just because of who I am, because a
Mhm.
little bit about me too is that I don't just dream in my own world, in my own spirit. I dream in other
Mhm.
people's spirits as well. I used to do a lot of astral traveling. I will have visions and dreams of other people that belong to them. And sometimes
Mhm.
that's hard for me to comprehend. But
Mhm.
at the same time, I hold that. I know what's going on. It could have been somebody's else's demise, or could be something that somebody else needs to know about. So I will have this dream. But I've had horrible death dreams, and some of them have been past life dreams, honestly, and something that I
Mhm.
haven't
Mhm.
overcome. Like
Mhm.
I I I don't want to make it graphic because I had already done that in a show before,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
I ain't doing that again.
No.
Um, but the
I
death
don't have
dream is
time to edit tonight.
no, we're not doing that.
No.
So when you have a dream about dying or death, that doesn't mean that. What that kind of means is that you have to look at what is going on at that moment in time. So
Mhm.
and and stop it. Because death is all about new beginnings.
Mhm.
Favorite card in the entire deck of the tarot cards is the death card. I love it
Mhm.
because it's about new beginnings. It's not about
Mhm.
ending. It's about
Yeah.
starting new, starting fresh. That's your symbol to start fresh. So if you've beaten that conversation to death, it means that that conversation needs to end. So in
Mhm.
other words, shit or get off the pot.
Mhm.
Because you
Yeah.
can only go in so many circles,
Yeah.
right? And now, once you go through those circles, then you have to do a straight line. It's either one way
Yeah.
or the universe will take care of it for you.
Mhm.
So, and if they take care of it, it might be a little bit messy because
Mhm.
that's what they were trying to protect you from was the messy. But now you're showing, okay, I'll take the messy.
Mhm.
Don't know why.
There's also symbols with you would think that some of these symbols would have one meaning, but they don't. They have several meanings.
Right?
So water, for instance,
Mhm.
is, and then you have to ask the million questions. What color was the water? Was it black? Was it murky, muddy, crystal clear? Was it icy cold? Was it warm? Was it hot? Was there fog? Was it rushing water? Was it calm water? What? And so when somebody's like, "Yeah, I had a dream about water. Tell me about it."
Mhm.
Well, that's where you have to come in and start pulling all those. every
Exactly.
all the peripheral symbols out of it. And
Mm,
so to hear running water, it's more like meditation and reflection and emotional. And so when your water is still, that means like your emotions are nice and calm. And but
mm,
you know, there's being in a boat on high seas, or there's a tornado and it spreads. So you have to when you are talking about a dream, you have to be prepared for the million questions because
mm.
when you say, "Oh, I had a dream about water," well,
You,
what color was the
yep.
water? Was it
You
hot,
have to
cold?
exactly,
Yeah,
and you have to be prepared to go back to that dream because that's
yeah,
what's going to happen. When you start talking about that dream, you're going to pick up on details that you missed in the dream.
yes.
I love love water dreams because most of the time that we do them, let's say about 95% of the time, they know exactly the answer. So I
Hmm.
don't have to say to them, was the water choppy? They'll tell me the water was choppy. Like I'll say, so what color was the water? Gray. Okay. Where was the water? In the bathtub. Like I'll ask the questions associated. So it was a gray water. So
Hmm.
was the water gray? Like where did the water come from? So then I know, okay, well, the water, it was gray because it was coming from the ocean. Like there's
Hmm.
always, almost always decisive answers, which makes it a
Yes.
little bit easier to pull
And
things.
was the water in a fish tank? So now is the dream about water or is it about the fish?
Right. And so when I say, where was the water? That is a
Hmm.
really great question because they'll be like, oh, it was in a fish tank. Perfect. Okay. So the water was gray and it was in a fish tank. Is that correct? Yes. Was there fish in the fish tank? Yes. What color were the fish in the fish tank? They were blue. All blue? Like, tell me about this fish tank a little bit. And then they go into that. And that's a completely
Hmm.
separate dream. When there's like, I dreamt about water, I dreamt about being in the water. Well, where were you in the water? So now when we talk about that baby that you saved from drowning in the water,
Hmm.
in a
Hmm.
pool, what color was the water in the pool? Was the pool
Hmm.
chocolate? So, and you're
Yeah.
telling me the information and I'm like getting so much from it. And how do you feel? Like what's going on when this is happening? Because
Hmm.
sometimes it could be a past life dream. It could be a soul retrieval dream that you're going through. You're trying to get an answer to an issue too. And they're
Hmm.
giving you that. And the water could be symbolizing there's so many things that water symbolizes. There's so many
Hmm.
things that, like, it could symbolize hope. It also could symbolize demise, like all of these things.
Hmm.
However, I will tell you, you don't prophetic dreaming, like things that make predictions. It's not usually about water,
Hmm.
right? You might get a prediction that somebody drowns, right?
Hmm.
And like you go, oh my God, someone's going to drown. But that's not really what
No,
it is.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
when
Yeah.
prophetic dreams happen, it's not usually about water. So
Hmm.
90% of the prophetic dreams are not about water, but every single person that I talked to who had a prophetic dream dreamt about water,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
So then we have to figure out what kind of dream that is for them. It's
Yes.
dreamology, symbology, it's great, but we can't just have one thing. And I spoke
Correct.
about this in another video that we had about animals. And I think I told you the story about going into one of the sweat lodges, and my friend had a feather. And when I had taken the feather, it was an eagle feather. Um, and then I said, no, this is not an eagle feather. This is a turkey feather. And
Hmm.
I needed turkey, that person that she was going in for this feather for needed turkey medicine, not eagle medicine. And while it was an actual eagle feather, it was reading as a turkey feather. So it's like that turkey medicine that person needed, that was for, was coming through channeling through the eagle feather, if that makes any
Hmm.
sense. But that's kind of
Hmm.
what symbology is like. So you have like one thing that could actually mean another thing. You could see snakes in your dream. And snakes, everyone goes, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. No, snakes are really good because they shed. They're shedding. So that's telling me another
Yes.
transformation is coming for you. A decision that you had to make about your job. That's usually what
Hmm.
that snake is about. Snake is usually about work. shedding your
Hmm.
old skin at work, getting a new job, getting a promotion, but
Yeah.
asking yourself, do you really want that? When I talk about dreaming, I actually go back to other dreams because our brain is smart like that too, and our spirit is smart. They will recognize other dreams that you had and go, okay, so she recognized that from that dream. I'm going to bring it into this dream.
Hmm.
That she gets the same feeling about it. And then we know
Hmm.
what we're talking about. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'll
Hmm.
ask other dreams. Have you had other dreams like this before? No, but I did dream about a penny before. Okay. So the penny may
Hmm.
not be about money. The penny could be about what's happening in this dream right now.
Yes. Or
Right.
like the British say, the penny dropped.
Right.
Yes, the penny dropped. It's like, oh, okay. That
Okay.
means that means yes, now I get it. Now
Now
I
you
get it.
get it.
That means that's
Now I
what the
get it.
penny dropped. Now
I
I get
got the
it.
lesson. And that might not have been what they had concentrated on in that dream either. But
Yeah.
that those dreams that we have every night, she could have had that dream over and over and over and over again and not caught on to it. But all that
Mhm.
said, in that one dream that they have, a different dream, but there's a nice shiny penny in that dream. You didn't concentrate on it, you knew about it, but now
Hmm.
it's like, now you get it. Now
Hmm.
that's my lesson.
Yes. What
I always
else?
tell people to keep a journal by their bed. Now, it's
Yeah.
impossible to get up. For me, if I'm awake or halfway between that state of sleep and awake,
Hmm.
if I'm going to write something in a journal, man,
Yeah.
I'm going to be awake. So I just usually keep a pencil or a pen, and I reach or piece of paper, napkin, and I just write a couple words.
Yeah.
Like I might write
Yeah. It's like
death or
this book I have here. I have, gosh, I've got about 8 or 9 journals out in the front room
Mhm.
there. But
Yep,
this
and
one here, this has got
like
all my Akashic
or
stuff
I
in it.
might
But
just go right. I might just put blue or I might put green
yeah.
or
Hmm.
anything. I would do that and then I just go back to sleep. And
Hmm.
I might not even look at that for a few days. They're like, oh, okay. So then that jogs my memory about what happened in that dream. So it might just be a color. If I look at it and I don't remember anything, I'll be like, oh geez, I was in some kind of state then. Holy. Yeah.
And
So
green and even green colors. So
oh, I think we
people
dream
that
mostly
dream.
in color than we do in black and white. Like there has been so many beliefs that's the myths around dreams is
Hmm.
more than the dream itself. Because we usually do dream in color because we remember color. Our brain registers color.
Yes.
That is the most vivid dreams that you can have is the dreams about color. When I talk to people I about dreaming and they have a dream, it's the first thing they say, the water was blue. It
Hmm.
was like this blue, crystal blue,
Hmm.
or it was deep gray. They don't say they
Hmm.
dream black and white. I don't know if
Hmm.
I ever remembered my dream in black and white. Now, if we do dream in black and white, we just might add color to it. I don't know. But every time I've ever talked to anybody, they dream in color. I've come across one person that says, I only dream in black and white. And I'm like, okay.
Hmm.
And when they start describing their dream, they could describe colors. So,
Hmm.
right. But
Yeah. But then
yeah,
color comes across as an emotion too.
definitely. And colors are definitely emotions. And
Hmm.
that's where we symbolize that. Now, for
Hmm.
a long time, I had a really bad aversion to the color orange. And
Hmm.
I don't like orange candy. Blech. Don't like anything food oriented that's orange, except for an orange itself. Don't like orange flavoring, nothing like that. I like oranges, peaches, and peach
Hmm.
Jolly Ranchers. That's it for the orange. Maybe occasional candy corn, depends.
Hmm.
But that color orange has that thing for me, and I'm like, I can't do it.
Really?
And so having dreams about the color orange, having like those kind of things, that's the symbol that I get for it. Like I still have an aversion to it. One time, many years ago, when I had my past life done, that was a really interesting past life. Um, that was the one where I realized I was the mermaid and that I
Hmm.
brought tourmaline to the world. That was many, many years ago. I brought tourmaline when I left Atlantis and decided that I don't want no part of none of it. I wanted none
Hmm.
of it.
Hmm.
And I decided, okay. So I brought this huge, they told me I could take one thing with me, and I took the tourmaline. And so that's what I was credited for back then. And I stood behind, when I was standing there, I kept standing behind the orange wall. And he's like, "You hate the color orange." And I'm like, "I do." And I was like, "How could you tell?" He said, "You've got issues with the color orange, and it has a lot to do with your past life. We never explored it." And I'm like, "Interesting." So every time I get that growth, like I don't like the color orange. Here's
Yeah.
the kicker. Orange is one of my best colors. Orange
Mm.
and yellow. In yellow and orange are just like, and I'm a Leo,
So,
so it's all about sunshine.
yeah. Yes. So in witchcraft, when you're doing spell work
Hmm.
and you're using an orange candle symbolizes success. We want
Hmm.
you to, so if
But
you're
that's
if
my
you're
fear.
doing like a money spell for somebody,
Hmm.
um, instead of using the green well, you should really use a green candle, green, black, white, and an
Hmm.
orange candle means success.
Hmm.
So what I'm just wondering now, with all the dreams that you've had with orange flavors and orange colors, what does that mean? Why do you
I
have an aversion to that
to,
orange?
suc- to success, I have an aversion or fear of success or fear
Mm-hmm.
of Um, I'm pretty sure as soon as you said that, and now my favorite crystal is citrine, which is orange. And it's
Yeah.
about abundance, it's about prosperity, and it's
Mm-hmm.
about self-worth. So I
Mm-hmm.
think when I have this aversion to orange, it's about my own fear of success, my own
And
fear of
citrine
stepping into.
involves your solar plexus.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's the chakra that it's associated with is my
Yes.
solar plexus. And my solar plexus have always had an aversion to being blocked. I had my root chakra was blocked for a while, and it's not anymore. But my solar plexus, I've always had stomach issues and
Mm-hmm.
stomach problems. And in my Chinese medicine training, orange was an aversion for me because it's all about like your lung, your bladder, all those
Mm-hmm.
acupuncture points run through there. So your liver, your all of them. And yeah, it's so when we say that, I think it's a fear of success and a fear of
Mm-hmm.
uh I don't want to say like the word exposed comes,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not exposed in a bad way because there's no secrets about me. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm that open book. Like people know I've been homeless. People know I've lived in my car. I've lived in shelters. I've lived, you know, I've had lots of things happen in my life. And it's like, so why am I afraid of that? Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
afraid of it because I'm afraid to be back there. So that's maybe why I'm afraid of
Mm-hmm.
success, because when you
Yeah.
have success, things can be taken from you. I
It's
don't know,
yes. So if you
right?
have nothing, there's nothing to lose.
Exactly. If you
There's
have
a song
nothing,
about that. Yes.
right. If you have nothing, there's nothing to lose. And
Mm-hmm.
also, the measure of a person in society is measured by the way that they're successful. So, how happy are you being successful? And what does success look like to you? Because
Yeah.
successful, I lost 200 pounds. Is that
Mm-hmm.
successful? To me, it could be to somebody else. It's like, yeah, you just had to work out. Right? So there's a lot psychology behind symbols and colors, and I
Mm-hmm.
love talking about that stuff. We could do a whole show on colors, do a whole show on emotions attached to colors and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I think that's why I don't like orange, is I'm just afraid
Mm.
of the
Afraid
success.
of
I'm
that.
afraid of
Yeah. That.
right. And the blocking, when your solar plexus are blocked, you're blocking abundance from coming in
Mm-hmm.
as well. So, and that's what that citrine is all about, is about
Yeah.
abundance and being like bringing happiness, prosperity into your life
Mm-hmm.
and blocking energy. So, yeah,
Yes. I
I,
know. I gotta
I,
get I have a nice big box full of crystals that I just haven't found a home for at the moment. I should just stick them on windowsills throughout.
I have
Anyway, this
so many crystals. I just even bought new ones. And now when I go into stores, they talk to me. They've always talked to me, but yeah,
yes.
I bought some more citrine. I bought some raw citrine and some raw amethyst.
Mm.
I have amethyst everywhere in my house, and my manifestation is to get one of those big. tower, big geodes of them,
A big geode, yeah.
several $100s. And I
Uh,
just can't justify buying one of those for several $100s.
I have a smoky quartz geode that it's like this big, and one of my
Mm,
students gave it to me.
nice.
He just handed it to me, and it just looked like dinosaur poo. Really, it was just like this egg,
That's
and I'm
hilarious.
like, I don't know what to do with that. And he's like, pull it apart. So I did, and
Wow.
I'm telling you, I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And that was, gosh, that was over 20 years ago, 20, 25
Here's
years ago.
here's the piece that I got.
Oh,
So
nice.
this is a smoky quartz.
Yeah.
And when I owned my store a few years ago, it came in, somebody wanted to trade their crystals for
Hmm.
decks and stuff. And I managed to get this one. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's really interesting. It's a nice size.
Hmm.
It's almost the size of
Hmm.
my face. But yeah, that's a nice piece of it. I have
Hmm.
some blue lace agate seems to be, or agate in general seems to be my
Hmm.
speed. They seem to be
It's
quite
pretty. It's very
uh,
pretty. Yes.
my first ones that I've ever had, my first crystal I ever bought was a citrine. Oh, sorry,
Hmm.
no, it was aventurine, green one. And then
Hmm.
I bought a citrine, and then I got lots of amethyst. And I think amethyst has always been kind of my favorite, but agate,
Hmm.
agate, agate, agate all the way. I
Hmm.
love agate, and
My
friends
first
make me
was
some.
an amethyst that my friend's husband took
Mhm.
from a mine in Wyerton, Ontario, and
Mm,
there was signs all over the mine, no taking anything out of the mine. So he
nope,
stole a piece of Mother Earth's babies, right?
right.
And she gave that to me, and I'm telling you, my life just went downhill.
Yep.
I gave it away. I said, there's got to be a correlation. So I'm trying to, I had it in my fish tank. I had it in the sunlight, you name it. I was doing it. And it just was not cleansing. So I said, hey, you take it.
Yep,
And within a week, the friend that I gave it to, her house burned to the ground.
exactly.
And
Hopefully, crystal
and
with it.
she said, I said, and I don't know if I ever mentioned the amethyst. No, she did. She mentioned the amethyst. She's like, I don't know what was wrong with that rock you gave me, that crystal you gave me, but it burnt my house down. Like, oh, okay. I said, where is it now? And she's like, well, the house burned to the ground, so it's buried. I said, good, leave it, leave it there.
Good, Jerry. Don't go get it. I
Don't
love
go get it.
had a friend of mine that passed to the other side, and he was a Reiki master like myself. I've been this week alone, I've told probably 8 people that I'm a Reiki master, which is really funny because I've been a Reiki master for 30 years.
Hmm.
And and it only comes out when people need a Reiki master. And every
Yeah.
one of the 8 people asked me for my information if I could teach them Reiki.
When
And
the
I'm like,
student's
okay.
ready.
So I've got the students, ask them and they shall come.
Yeah.
But my friend Blake, who's there, and Blake visits me often. I love this man. He was like a big brother to me. He was an aerotech engineer. So imagine that. So he was completely science, completely
Hmm.
science. He fixed aeroplanes for a living. He worked for Shearwater. He fixed engines completely. Then he became a Reiki master. He found this blue Nova Scotian agate. And he's like, I have to give this to you. And so we had gone through our Reiki together. We had gone through Reiki Master and everything. And on the day of my master teachings with him, we got them same time. He gifted me this. And I've got 3 pieces, and they're probably about this size.
Hmm.
And I've lost them about 7 times, and they've always come back to me. And when I mean
Hmm.
lost, and they got lost in my storage locker, or they got lost in my house or whatever. And it's pure Nova Scotian agate. And every time I
Hmm.
see it, I think about him and I think about how beautiful these things are. I love agate so much. It's like the different designs, the different colors, the sparkle, the
Hmm.
different, like, it just reads so well. So.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm gonna gift it out there. I'm gonna put it out
Oh,
there.
good. That's good. And if we get 100 subscribers, you just never know. Somebody's going to get gifted something.
They're going to get gifted
So,
something, and I will,
yes.
yeah, I also have something that I'm trying to let go of. So, yeah, I might let go of that. I'm not going to say anything what it is.
Okay.
People guess what it might be. They may actually get that, but yeah.
Yeah, that actually gives me an idea of another. Yeah, we'll do a little short. If you can guess, it's sort of an intuitive exercise.
Hmm.
And so
Using your clair senses at this point in time.
use your clair sense. Yeah.
Your clair senses, your
So,
body clairvoyant, clair
mhm,
sentient, those kind of things.
mhm.
Yeah, yeah, a show about that too. Jeez, there's so many.
So,
I
so many things.
totally want to do a show about colors now that we're mentioning it,
Yeah.
and numbers. I've been wanting
Hmm.
to do numerology for a long time.
Numerology. Yes.
Um, and I'm not an expert at astrology, although I know I'm an not expert because
Hmm.
but astrology and
Hmm.
what do our signs mean and what do these things mean? I would
Hmm.
probably get a guest on our show to do that. That would be amazing.
Yes, yes. I know I have a few people that I could contact, but I've been out of the circuit for a very long time, so I don't know if I have these contacts still. I
Mm,
do know a high priestess, a
right
witch,
on.
but I don't know that she would ever come on because her voice is very recognizable, and there are some
Yeah,
people that would be,
that's
yeah,
okay.
yeah, she's very
I
recognizable.
I have a story too about a client I just read about a week and a half ago. And she gave me the same information that a client of mine from 10 years ago gave me, and it all has to do with Lilydale,
Mm,
in a witch named Lori, who predicted that each of them was going to meet a medium named Lori, who is the
mhm,
real deal. And it was so funny when this woman was talking to me. I was like, I had the same thing happen to me. Oh, like, so things in
mhm.
my life have to be reoccurring. And it's
Yes.
crazy. The girl described my tarot cards because she said the witch in Lilydale described my tarot cards that I got. And my tarot cards actually come from there,
Mhm,
from my stepmother's mother, who has passed away, bought them
mhm,
in 1969, and
mhm,
it's an original deck of Aquarian, and they're not signed, but they're numbers. And I
mhm,
think I got deck number 57 out of them.
mhm,
I don't know. I don't have the original package anymore. And they were gifted to me through my stepmother when I was 17. And it was funny because
mm,
her mother said, these aren't meant for you, these are meant for your daughter. And
mm.
it's her
Okay,
daughter,
yeah.
stepdaughter. And then,
Mhm,
so then this girl the other day described this deck of cards. And she said she only got it because the witch at Lilydale, named Lori, same witch who gave the other girl the information, described my tarot card deck to a T. She was like,
mm.
here's what it is, here's the name of it,
Nice.
here's where it came from, here's who bought it. And then I'm like, this person is definitely in line with my life. And this happened about 15 years ago, same time as this other client met this Lori witch as well. And
Hmm.
really interesting. So,
You know, I'm gonna change the subject again. I'm just looking at the time here. We got about 5 minutes left.
mhm.
Um, have you ever had shared dreams?
Yes, yes,
And
100%.
and the symbology behind each shared dream is
It's
the same.
I've had different and I've had the same. And I've had
Yes.
it's all in the interpretation at that point in time. I've had shared dreams a lot. I've had group dreams where there's been four people, five people,
Yeah.
six people in a group that's all had the same dream.
Hmm.
And, and it's
So that's
and
that's your quantum connectivity right there. That's your
exactly.
that's your your fractals coming together and connecting.
Hmm.
I told you about my mentor from years ago
Right.
who passed away after we were really really getting involved with the mentorship. Um anyway, her husband, like we would talk every Sunday morning. We would talk for about 3 hours, and just talk, and it was very much like you and I are talking now, and
Mhm.
very interesting stuff. And the one day I wake up from this dream, and I emailed him and I said, "Oh my God, I've had this amazing dream. I have no idea what it means, but like your wife was there and she kept telling me this Bible quote or Bible passage." Anyway, this Bible passage was all about the mustard seed.
Mm,
And he says to me, "This is so funny because I just had a dream and it was all about the mustard seed." He's like, "I'm just in the middle of writing you an email right now." And
awesome.
he described to me his dream. I described mine, and every symbol that he lives in Georgia. I live here. And so for us to have the identical dream the same night was just mind blowing.
Mm.
It was
Isn't
all
that
about the mustard
beautiful?
seed.
I love that. And I
Mhm,
love that like I've had a dream before that I talked about on my psychic touch page. And it was from many years ago, but I left out details because I
mhm,
knew that there was a number of people in this dream and it was almost like we were in a coven. And I already know uh, I've been a high priestess, I've been a
mhm,
goddess, there's been a lot that I've been. I was in ancient Egypt. That was one of my worst lives that I had. But I left a lot of things out and I had people filling in the blanks for me.
mhm,
So as I'm talking about this dream, I had one lady go, "You were wearing crystal blue." And I remember the crystal blue and I'm thinking, how the heck did she know? She was
yeah,
in the same dream as me. So she was the other person that was there. And there was lots of people that were there. And that's a group dream. And
mhm,
may not understand or know it. Like sometimes you have a dream and you're just like, I don't know what this is all about, but you can
mhm,
remember certain details. One
yeah,
dream, and it may not even been a memory for you or anything. And then 5 years down the road, you'll hear somebody saying, "I had this dream once about this blue flower, and it's been
mhm,
sticking with me." And I'm like,
mhm,
it was the ground, it was a blue flower. There was like five kids, and it's exactly the same dream. It's just that I
mhm,
was sitting there at that time when they were having their profound moment,
mhm,
right? And so it's really interesting. I love group dreams. I love it all. Dreams are
mhm,
like
mhm.
they're so
Yeah,
complex, but they're so
yes,
easy
yes,
all at the same
they
time.
are. Well, this has been another wonderful conversation. Thank you for thank you for indulging me in this. I love it so much.
I love
And
dreams.
and
I love
again,
it.
it's a conversation that could go on for hours and hours and hours.
Pretty much every
And
one of our podcasts
yeah,
we could do conversations for hours and hours
yeah,
and
it's like I feel bad cutting it short, even though we've been talking for over an hour.
I
I feel
know.
bad just saying, well, we gotta go. Um, so anybody listening, if you want to send us your dream, please do. Because the dream world, it's not just a dream. It's not
Mm,
just a video that's going on in your head and then that's the end of it. There's more to it. There's so, so, so much more.
mhm.
And again, it could be prophetic, it could be healing, it could be, people sometimes will go to sleep with an ailment that the doctor does not know how to fix, and they'll go to sleep and think, hey, you know what? If I just eat ginger, it's going to go away. My problem's going to be fixed. Things like that. So there's that kind of, dreams.
And the other thing is, and I'm going to take this one level further, is it a dream? Is it a premonition? Is it an out of body experience?
Yes.
Like, or is it like, what is that? Because
Yeah.
sometimes it's not a dream. Sometimes it's an lived experience. It's a prophetic, it's a premonition, it's an out
Yes.
of body experience. So
Yeah.
we can be interpreting it as a dream, looking for the symbols associated with it, when it's actually a out of body experience that we actually have to
Mhm.
live in that moment. Because when you
Yeah.
have out of body experiences, they're not about the lessons that you learn, they're about what's going on right then and there and to get an answer that you need or not,
Hmm.
right? It's not
Exactly.
about, yeah, it's not about symbolizing them. So,
Mm.
and you and I could have exactly the same dream, right down
Mhm,
to what we're talking about, what words come out of our mouth, and it would mean something different for each of us.
mhm.
So that I guess that's what I want to say in closing is that just because we all have the same dream, or if we all have the same dream about falling, whatever that is, it means something different for everybody.
Yes, because we have our own life experiences. Yeah.
Exactly. And the interpretation is different. But when a dream
Mhm.
comes from universe, it's meant for you. And
Yes.
it's meant to be for you, about you, to symbolize you. So I think it's very fascinating and wonderful, and the dream world is great. But step back and go, was this just a fun dream? Because sometimes it's just a fun dream. Like,
Dream. Yeah.
sometimes it's just meant to just let yourself go and have fun
Hmm.
and experience that. Right. So
Yeah.
let's let it happen.
Okay. So if you like what we're talking about, please give us a like, give us a share. It's free. Subscribe, please. I'm begging you, please. Just not begging. Sorry, I shouldn't say begging. We would love it if you subscribe to our channel just to help us get motivated, get our channel growing, and that way we can bring you more conversations and we can actually bring you on and have conversations with us.
I would
Because
love that. That's a
yes,
dream of
it's
mine
a
is to have
dream.
people,
I know.
is to have
I
people come
am,
on. Love
yes.
it.
And like I said, I am starting the Psychic Touch swag.
Hmm.
So once I have the hat done, but yeah, so we'll have the logo on some t-shirts and water bottles, maybe some mugs and stuff like that. But yeah, so I
Hmm.
know I can't wait because yeah, Mama needs a new pair of shoes.
Yeah, I hear ya. Mama needs a new pair of shoes too.
Yeah. So, so yeah, please like, share, subscribe, and let us know if you want to join us for one of these conversations. We would love to have you.
Awesome.
If you have any questions that you want answered, I mean, we'll get through it. We will get through it.
We will definitely get through
We'll
that.
see you next week, and I don't know what the topic is for next week, but we'll come up with
We'll
something
come up
pretty
with
amazing.
something. Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely. We'll come up with something definitely
yes,
pretty amazing. And who
yes.
knows, one of these days, we might just do it live streamed.
We're gonna do it live. Yes, I have
Live.
to make sure that our both our schedules because sometimes I work until 8 o'clock at night and I can't be here. So, um, yeah, so we just have to make sure our schedules are in sync
Yeah, and
for a live. Yeah,
exactly. And the way my life usually works is that if I plan something to happen, it ain't gonna happen when it's supposed to.
yeah, yes,
So to
yes.
do a
And
live, we just do it.
we may have a guest come on next week. I'm just not 100% sure. We just that's a
So
80% maybe.
we'll decide the topic.
Yeah.
We decide the
Yes.
topic, whatever's gonna happen. And if we have to change topics, we have to change topics.
Yes, we will.
That's
All
it.
right. We
All
will
right.
talk next
Talk to
week.
you later. We'll see you
Okay.
later. Have a good
Okay.
week.
Bye.
Bye.